Hello race fans, Peter Mackay here, welcoming you to the Apex Racing Academy F3 VRS Super Series live from Interlagos in Brazil. Joining me in the commentary box this evening, as always, is Jack Canan, and bringing you these wonderful images and graphics is Marco Barbonera, all the way over in Rome. Jack, it's been an amazing start to the season so far, particularly our opening round at Road America. We've had two different winners so far. Shall we make it three today?
Well, I think it'd be nice to get it. So yeah, it has been really good so far. Of course, Road America was incredible with how close the racing was the whole way up the field, and then obviously our previous round was even more interesting at Brands Hatch and even more narrower circle. But now we've got a really interesting mix of both of them, I'd say. You've got Road America, nice open straights, and Brands Hatch tight and twisty. Now we've got a beautiful mix at Interlagos, and I think a match made in heaven is F3 cars and Interlagos because they just go so well around here.
Yeah, I absolutely have to agree. Of course, Interlagos is used to holding dramatic season finales. I mean, who could forget when Lewis Hamilton won his first of 7 world titles in 2008 when he won on the last lap and unfortunately broke local Paulista hearts when Felipe Massa lost at the last moment. But yes, these built for single-seater racing, built in 1940 Interlagos, and has been changed as little as possible since, and it is just wonderfully old school.
Yeah, it really is. Arthur Fry just going through the last couple of corners there. That's where Kimi Räikkönen actually got lost one year. Tried to go down an escape road and ended up being blocked by a barrier, having to reverse, do a 3-point turn in the Lotus. Hopefully we don't see any of that today. But this really is a special circuit. It's open, it's flowing, it's got plenty of opportunities for overtaking, long straights, tight and twisty corners. The Senna S is at the start, and a long run down to turn 3 as well. But currently, an interesting name at the top of the standings. It's one of the Pro-Am drivers, Victor Anderson, outclassing the Pro field at the moment.
Well, what a scalp this would be for Victor Anderson. Well, in the number 220 Dallara, and like you say, the AM class signified by the red mark to the left of the driver's name, and the Pro class signified by the green mark to the left of the driver's name. And the way that it works is that each driver has an I rating, which the iRacing software generates based on your race results and experience. And basically the way it works is the entire field's I ratings are added together and created a mean average, and those below the average line will be in the AM class, and those above the average line will be in the Pro class. So for an AM driver, that Victor is, to be sitting on pole and 10 places higher, but Raul Hyman has just thought, no, you've had enough, you've had your fun now, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And he puts it on pole with a 128.3.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's interesting battle now because Raul Hyman, of course, is the championship leader of the Pro class, and Victor Anderson is the championship leader of the AM class. So it's the two of them are going at it, half a tenth between them at the moment. As you were talking about the average I rating, I believe, what I remember, the cutoff for Pro is actually 3,000 I rating, which is a very high cutoff. So you've got some very fast guys in Pro-Am as well as there's Bartolotta heading to the top, and then Anderson outclasses him again, the 28.3, goes to the top, but less than a tenth between the top 3. This is why we love these cars in Interlagos. It's just so close.
Wow. And Mitch Green now puts in a 128.1, and then Garcia 128.2. Fantastic. This is what it's all about in qualifying here. Raul Hyman now down to 6th, Jack.
All of a sudden, it went from pole, and then there's David Holland slotting into P3 as well. So he's now, and there goes Alex Alcaraz to join the fun as well in P2. So now Hyman's down to 8th place, and there's only 2/10. You need to find 2/10 of a second, but it's incredibly hard to find it around a circuit just like this. There goes Mitch Green, Karl Modov, slots into P2, so less than a tenth between. There's less than a tenth between the top 5 now. It's like Austria qualifying in F1 Esports all over again.
Fantastic. And Jordan Kelly. And Hyman now puts in the first of the 127s. Wow, not to be outdone is Raul Hyman. 127.993 for him, and Jordan Kelly is just over 3/10 of a second off the pace, and he's sitting in 10th at the moment for the young Irishman.
Yeah, he's not too far off the pace though, is Jordan, so we'll see how he gets on. Of course, all of these guys have, of course, access to the Apex Racing Academy, setups, the data packs that are created by the pro drivers. They're not obliged to use them, but they do have access to them. And of course, the prize at the very end of this championship is certain subscriptions to that service. If you do want to check that out, I highly recommend it. But it is going to be, for the moment, looks like Raul Hyman is going to secure that pole position, but we still have a couple more laps. They have 4 laps around here to secure that. There goes Jordan, P3 now. I knew he had more pace in him. P3 for Jordan, but less than between our top 3. Here comes Alex Alcaraz. We know how fast this man is. Across the line he comes, and he goes to 4th place. And again, it's less than a 10th separating the top 4. Alex Alcaraz, P2 in the championship. An interesting stat. It is an interesting stat. He has not finished outside of the top 2 all season.
Thank you, Sam Fitzpatrick, for that one.
Yep.
There you go. It's been used, Sam, so it didn't go to waste. That excellent fact
You're
you gave us
welcome,
earlier on. Yep. Jack Canaan. I'm going to have to think of some new facts now. He's nicked mine. So, we look at the number 7 of Joseph Escobedo coming into the final corner here, using that last bit of vent room on the entry, then back on the power, lighting up those Hankook rear tyres, and this is a long old drag up the hill here. It's going to be some great drafting opportunities to line up overtaking manoeuvres into turn 1.
Yeah, it really is. There's a decent run to turn 1 as well, but especially when we're coming into those dying laps, if you're running nose to tail, you want to be the car behind, really, when you're running up towards the line, because you get such a huge slipstream effect down towards there. But looks like our grid is set. For now, it's Raul Hyman on another pole position, then Bartolotta, Kelly, Alcaraz, Green, and Victor Anderson ending up just outside of the top 10 at the end of that, with Sammy Venables P2 in that one. But that's a really incredibly close qualifying. There's less than half a second between about 20 drivers. This is why we love Interlagos, as I keep saying.
Wow, that is just extraordinary. And the racing is going to be equally close, because there's so many corners here, Jack, isn't there, where there's a lot of different lines that you can take, and therefore that opens up. You can never really just park it on the apex here, because there's always somewhere to get by, and I think that's why everyone loves the circuit so much from a viewer perspective.
Yeah, exactly. You've really got to drive smart around here. You're going to see plenty of guys weaving down the straights, trying to break slipstreams. If you're unfamiliar with the format, we've 2 heat races and then a consolation and then the feature. 12 go through from each heat race, and here's your first one.
So on pole position for the opening heat of the evening is Raul Hyman, with Jordan Kelly, the rapid Irishman, on the front row beside him. Mitch Green and Vitolo Garcia will be on row 2, with Stratos Kilakitsis and Victor Anderson on row 3. Sammy Venables will start 7th, with Vincenzo Carcetti in 8th. Christoph Herbigno will start 9th, with John Vogel 10th. Chuck Mauro 11th, and Dan Schuring will start from 12th. Mark Jones for Fuga Simsport will start in 13th, with Alok Iyengar, Kevin Shine, Harry Bowen, Derek Holland, Marcel Tumbas, Tony Sepola, Richard Holding, Hans Verhey, and Zachary Gage rounding out the 11th row of the grid. So 22 runners, 12 positions to go through to the feature race. It's kind of like a fast-paced game of musical chairs, Jack.
Essentially, yeah, there's going to be a lot of this today. The fight for P12 is really going to be one to keep our eyes on, because the 12 is the cutoff point for a space straight through to the feature. Everyone else will progress to the consolation race, which is, of course, usually chaos. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. But everyone inside the top 10 will want to just not fight too much. There are championship points for the heats, but not as much as the feature. So you've really got to drive smart in these heats, and let's see how this is going to end up. Raul Hyman, he's trying to go for another clean sweep in the championships. Let's see how he gets on.
We're just mating on, I think, Mitch Green coming to take his 3rd spot on the grid. There he goes. So we should be waiting for the lights to go up, and there they come. The revs rise. We have 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they go out, and we are off here at Interlagos, and Jordan Kelly bogs down off the line in the 121 machine. Can he defend 2nd place into turn 1? It's a perfect start from Raul Hyman, and look at Stratos in the 117. He goes up the inside and then gets taken straight back then by Garcia. What a start.
That's an epic start from Stratos. He came up from P9 all the way up to P4 with an epic getaway. Jordan managing to hang on to P2. It's Vitolo Garcia in P3, then Anderson, Green, Herbino, Carcadi, Venables and Fogel are your top 10. Mauro and Schuring round out the 12 car field. Everyone was very sensible. They were 3 abreast into turn 1, but they were very sensible with each other, gave each other plenty of space to work with coming through. Here we have just Schuring trying to hang off Jones, who's going to get past in the 277 machine right behind. But Raul Hyman got an epic start and had almost 2 car lengths clear. Herbigno up the inside, or he's actually losing places. Anderson's trying to make the move past to go up to P4, but he's side by side as well with Stratos Kyriakidis is up his inside for the next part of the corner. So already some side by side action going on, but Raul Hyman has opened out the gap he needs.
Yeah, this is critical for Hyman to try and get this gap early. Oh, we've got spinners in the background. Oh, as Venables is off. Oh, be careful. Oh, we've got someone on the grass there as well. Oh my word, it's chaos. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And the thing is, Jack, when you make contact in these cars, they are more fragile than an Airfix model kit.
Yeah, exactly, if you haven't glued it together properly. So, yeah, that was a nasty accident. So we see here there was an initial incident, and then there were cars flying off in the background, but then this is the part that just comes back on and causes even more chaos. Poor old Hands for High there, just getting absolutely cleaned out of it. And as you were saying, yeah, the damage model on these cars is extremely hard to avoid. You can see this is Christoph Herbigno trying to go around the outside. Stratos Kyriakidis has to go off the road. He might be under pressure from Vincenzo Carcadi in the car behind the Squadron Corsa cars. They come up the hill then for the second time, but again Kyriakidis is hanging on just for now, but we saw a perfect demonstration of how brutal the damage model is as Carcadi is trying to get his nose up the inside there.
Oof, it's all going on, but Victor Anderson, a great start from the Super Swede. He's up to 4th place. Brilliant start from him, leading the AM class quite comfortably from Mauro in 8th place right now, but he's going to have the attention of Stratos Kyriakidis before too long. But Jordan, the Irish Kimi Räikkönen Kelly, is in 2nd, and that gap is looking pretty steady, just hovering around a 2nd between him and Hyman right now.
Yeah, he's shown his pace in Brands Hatch. He's got a little bit unlucky with traffic, and yeah, he doesn't need to really keep the pace of Raul Hyman, because Raul Hyman is a very experienced real-life racer. There you go, Jordan Kelly, fastest lap of the race, just to kind of show you that where he's lapping. Raul Hyman is lapping just a tad quicker in certain sectors, though. But Raul Hyman is a very experienced racer, racing FIA Formula 3. So if there's one man to follow in an F3 car, it's Raul Hyman. Here we go again with Stratos trying to make the move on Victor Anderson this time. He moves to the outside. He's going to slipstream past his Victor. He seems to be struggling in a straight line. He's had a poor exit out of turn 2. And there goes Stratos trying to go around the outside, but Victor Anderson says absolutely not.
Oh, that was firm, wasn't it? Didn't give him any room at all, but it was his corner to take. And now Herbigno is going to have a look. The Belgian Bullet has a look up the inside. He's got the inside line. Can he hang it out there? Now he gives Anderson the squeeze through. He goes now. Is Stratos going to follow through? No, he is not, but he's right there on the case. And Anderson drops back to 5th. Herbigno up to 4th.
Yeah, and you can see Stratos trying to come back in there, but that was great driving from Herbigno. He took 2 positions in the space of 2 corners, but now you have another driver, of course, latching onto this is Vincenzo Carcadi in the car behind him, the Italian in P7. Interesting to note as well, the Pro-Ams are outnumbering the pros quite significantly after the beating crash we just saw. So you can see there's 6 pros in the top 7, Victor Anderson in the middle of that one. And then the rest of the field is Pro-Ams. But there's your leader. There's Hyman in Pro and Victor Anderson in the other one. And there you can see Hyman 0.6 of a second quicker than anybody on that lap. And he is just now relaxing into the flow now.
Wow. That would have put him on pole, to give a bit of context. Is in lap 3, sorry, of 20 or 15-minute sprint race. Raul Hyman has just put a pole position qualifying time in. That is absolutely extraordinary as we look back. Oh, from Kevin Shine towards Harry Bowen there. Oh, side by side, Kevin Shine in the 240. Oh, big lunge there from the 212. I think that's Venables, it is. Oof, dearie me, it's all going on up and down the field. And of course, this is the critical point. This is the bubble. battle here where Tumbas now, the German in the 298, he's the man with the last ticket to the ball right now. So for Derek Collin in 13th, he's got 4 seconds to make up if he wants to get that spot in the feature automatically.
Yeah, he needs these guys. Well, actually, Derek Holland really needs these guys to start battling pretty hard for him to catch up right now. Kevin Shine just made the move past those guys. That's why that's happened. But there's Raul Hyman, who is relaxed and composed after that, after just setting 29-0 to cement his lead by 1.8 seconds over Jordan Kelly. Vitola Garcia starting to close in a little bit on Jordan, but not too much. Here's your laps this time by across the line. It's a 28-1 for Hyman and a 28-4 for Jordan, also a 28-4 for Tolo Garcia. But this is the battle we're keeping our eyes on, because these guys are now just in a slipstream train, but I don't think they're trying anything. I don't think they want to battle, because battling could potentially completely ruin their races and then lose them a chance in the feature.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to play smart here. You mentioned it earlier on, Jack, didn't you? It's you've got to drive smart here at Interlagos, and you've got to race smart in this form of competition. You know, where they all are right now, they're safely into the feature with a pretty decent grid spot as well. So we'll see. I think we should see these guys just kind of holding station for at least a few laps to see where they are. If they all feel like they're on similar pace, shouldn't be too much calamity. But you got to think for Victor Anderson, this is an absolutely dream start to the day for the AM Class Championship contender.
Yeah, his nearest Pro-Am rival is nearly 4 seconds back, even more than 4 seconds, close to 5 seconds back on the road. That's Mauro in P8 is his nearest Pro-Am rival, and Kevin Shine in there in P3 in the Pro-Am class. But this is the battle for the top 5. What we're looking at right now is the battle for P4. As Christophe Herbignon is at the head of this chart with Anderson Kilakidis, and we're on board with Vincenzo Carcati. There is the Belgian in P4 with the Swede behind him. Again, you can see another great lap from Raul Hyman, 0.4 of a second quicker than Jordan Kelly that time. Another 28-0 to add to the list. You can see back here, this is Marcel Tombas, and is he falling back? Well, Holland was half a second quicker than him on that lap, and there's plenty of time left. So Derek Holland not out of a chance just yet.
Absolutely not. We're only about half distance, and it would only need one person of the 12 cars in front of Derek Holland to make a mistake, and he would be right there. So it's never done until it's done. Yeah, we've got just under 7 minutes to go in this opening heat of the day here at Interlagos. And Tumbas, he has the last ticket right now, but he can definitely have it stolen off him. And Derek Holland really starting to reel him in. And I tell you what, that car of Derek Holland's looks really cool. I like the shiny, almost battleship-esque paint scheme on that car. But there he is. Oh no! Now who was that I was looking at? That's not the same car I was thinking of. Not to worry. There is another car out there that looks like that. It's kind of flat silver. There it is. Whoop. Huh.
Yeah.
Where's it gone?
Peter needs a shiny car, Marco. Try and find it. Let's see what happened here. This is Vincenzo Carcati, is it?
That's not the one I'm talking about. Oh, Stratos is on the
Stratos!
wall! Did he avoid the wall? I think he maybe
he
just
did.
got away with it. Wow.
Oh, that was lucky. Very lucky. I think he did brush the wall very slightly, but he got away with murder there. He's so lucky. On board with now. Look at this. Just he did touch the wall, but just caught it with the right part of the tire. That it just kind of bounced and didn't break, but that has handed Carcati the position. Oh, there's Derek Holland off in the wall. That ruins his chances. I saw actually he was carrying front wheel damage before that, so he's just obviously lost it on the way into the Senna S's.
Okay, so just the car just gets away from him, and then as soon as he asks for the power, it's whoop. Oh dear. That's always not nice when you're pointing the wrong way up the Senna S's. I remember David Coulthard in his last ever fought. Now this is the car I'm referring to behind Marcel Tumbas. It's holding the Englishman in that shiny car. Ah, it's coming up on my screen. Ah, now we try and get a number on it. It's
That's Mitchell Green.
Right.
Green.
Oh, and hands for high off as well. So we've finally identified the shiny car. I'm not going completely mad, just slightly.
Oh, he's gone off the roll as soon as you mentioned him. With Mitch Green, he's trying to just unlap himself from Marcel Tumbust. And Victor Anderson going for it on Herbigno, gets it up the inside, textbook from him. And that would have been a slipstream all the way down from turn 14 all the way up there. But he's got that move done up into P4 right now. So putting on a good show. And Stratos seems unfazed after that instant because he's still right on the back of Vincenzo Carcati in the background. But I think he's going to need a change of underwear after his moment.
Definitely, and he's got a curbed wheel. You'll need to get a refurbed wheel. It's that noise when you curb an alloy wheel, oh, it just cuts through your soul. And that was kind of what it was there. But that is all that he'll not need to worry about it. It's not affect his pace there at all. Kilakitsis is really starting to put some pressure back onto Carcati. But both of these guys, they're well into the bubble. They're definitely getting there as it stands right now. They've got their ticket to the ball, to the feature race. And as you mentioned, Jack, they don't have to. The main thing is it's not getting to the feature, it's not having to go to the consolation, which is kind of reminiscent of a bar brawl.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison because there's only about 3 or 4 slots, usually about top 5 when you make it through. So when you've got a field of 20 plus cars, it's going to get a little bit messy. As you can see, I think just up the road, there's Herbigno now, coming back at Victor Anderson. You can see Carcati's trying to break the slipstream in the background. Here comes Herbigno around the outside of the ZS's. He's going to have the inside line for the second part of it. Now they're still side by side. Anderson still on the inside line, firmly keeps himself in front, but Herbigno all the way down towards the Decino de Lago now. He's going to be right on his tail in the slipstream. Herbigno to the outside line of Anderson. This is a great little scrap between these two. They don't need to fight, but it is an extra grid slot. Herbigno sweeps around the outside. That's a brilliant move from the Belgian, but he runs off the road, but does keep it in front. Great move and a great scrap.
Super move there from Christophe Herbigno, and this is the only sort of racing you see in F3, don't you, Jack? It's just the confidence of the drivers and what they can do with these cars, and you just see moves just fabricated out of nowhere. And Christophe Herbigno did a great job there. Victor Anderson's probably sitting there thinking, how on earth did he just get past me?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he has another chance, but even that small little scrap, look how close Carcati and Kilakitsis are now. You can see them. We're on the rear wing of the Delta Sport car of Herbigno, using all of the road available there. And now, let's see if Anderson gets a good exit. You'll get a perfect demonstration of the slipstream effect right now, but it was a great exit from Herbigno that time. On board with Victor Anderson now, as he heads towards turn 1. He's not going to be close enough this time, but you get an idea of how much that he'll close up. But the exit from Herbigno that time was epic. So he gained absolutely nothing down the straight there onto the brakes. And look how close Stratos is to the back of Carcati. Carcati goes a little bit deep. Cut back line for Stratos now through the turn 3 section. And he'll have a good run down to the Decino de Lago now, getting the blimp shots here as they come down towards the Decino de Lago now. To the inside goes Stratos. Kilakitsis he should be able to outbrake him on the inside line. He's going to have to be brave because Carcati will try it around the outside, but he can't quite do it. Stratos back into P6. Carcati and Stratos really fighting this out for just 1 spot extra on the grid.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move there from Stratos, but Carcati just has a big old look there, but just pulls out of it at the last minute. But yeah, Stratos really set that one up well. Coming out of the Senna S has got that slingshot exit, while Carcati just bogged down slightly, running a slightly defensive line, and that was enough for Stratos to line it up in the slipstream. So, oh goodness me, Raul Hyman, he is not slowing down at all at the wheel of that car. Wowee. So he will come through to take the white flag to signify the last lap of the race, and he looks in prime spot to get pole position for the feature race. But of course, the feature race at Brands Hatch last Saturday, Jack, Raul Hyman made 2 massive errors in the opening laps, and his day was done there and then.
Yeah, that's how quickly it could turn if you don't get a good qualifying, or a bad start actually. It was his start that screwed him up because he ended up back then in the middle of the pack, going down into Druids, which is not where you want to be. You want to be in clean air out the front. So he wants to make sure that he doesn't make the same mistake. He nailed his start just there in the heat race. So he'll be wanting to keep a hold of that pole position and make sure that the driver behind is covered off nicely as we head round on the final lap. But Herbie knows built a gap now, so that battle looks like it's done. But top 12, so the man on the cusp is Marcel Tumbas, but he's got a 10-second lead over Richard Holding. So he's going to be safe.
He certainly is as it stands right now. So we've looks like our heats are, well, this opening heat here is pretty settled. And Raoul Hyman comes around the final corner of Junquao and up the hill towards the checkered flag he goes. Then Raoul Hyman continues what has been a largely impressive season so far here in the Apex Racing Academy F3 VRS Super Series. And over the line he comes then. It's another win for Raoul Hyman, and he gets the prime invite to the feature race with a 1:28.2 on the last lap. Fantastic. Brilliant drive from Jordan Kelly as well. That's what we know, the pace he has. He finishes second. Garcia third. Herbignot, great drive from the Belgian Bullet. Christophe Herbignot in fourth. And what can we say about Victor Anderson, Jack? A brilliant performance from the Pro-Am class driver.
Yeah, that's excellent. He's really lining himself up to be a real challenger in the Pro class. Never mind the Pro-Am class. He's the leader by a couple of points in that one. But across the line, Marcel Tumbas is the final driver to make it through. Richard Holden just scraping the pit wall and going to head off at a huge speed and have a horrible accident into turn number one. That's a great onboard shot. Mitch Green, that is actually, who's just coming across the line there in the shiny car, breaks his shiny car to the absolute horror of Peter Mackay.
I think actually the sun got in his eyes and glinted off the paint, and that put him off, I think.
Yeah, that does explain it.
That is a bit of an... it looks nice, but not so practical, I suppose.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a great job from Raoul Hyman. He is now secure on the pole position, so it's a crucial race now for the second heat race, which will include Alex Alcaraz, who of course was the winner in Brands Hatch, and will hopefully secure its second spot on the grid because he won from P2 on the grid last time after Raoul Hyman had a terrible start, so he'll be hoping for the same thing today.
Absolutely. So here's confirmation of the results. Raoul Hyman wins by 4.3 seconds from Jordan Kelly, with Vitolo Garcia in third. Christophe Herbignot, the Belgian Bullet, was fourth, with Victor Anderson fifth overall and fastest in the AM class. Stratos Kirlakitsis finishes sixth, with Vincenzo Carcetti in seventh. Chuck Mauro was eighth, followed by Sammy Venables, Kevin Shine, Harry Bowen, and Marcel Tumbas getting the last transfer spot to the feature. So here's how they line up then for the second heat. Marc Bartolotta, Aleix Alcaraz, Karl Modov, David Holland, Arthur Fry, Francesco Fioroni, Stephen Verratti, David McDonald, Mark Alcaraz, Daniel Cranefuss, Matt Corona, and Louis Correa. John Gordon, Waldemar Correa, Kees Dross, Brett Pancari, Damien McMullen, Joseph Escobedo, Toby Ward, Can Nagoyan, Nathan Healy, and Stephen Brown. 22 drivers, 12 go through. We wait for the lights. Here they come, just in time. 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're out. We are green here at Interlagos for the second heat of the day. Good start indeed from the number 116. Oh, Bartolotta, but looks like he might get edged out here by Alcaraz. Side by side they go through these Senate S's, but it's Alcaraz who hangs on there.
Yeah, he needed to do that. He's under pressure now from Karl Modov, who's on the grass. Huge one, massive.
Oh my.
On the deceiving log is going to be a massive accident. There's 1, 2, 3, now 4 cars. Oh, it's a horrible crash. Oh. Horrible accident there. And that was all caused by one car. And that was the man from P2, now in the wall, broken car, Max Bartolotta, who's on pole position. And he has now caused a multi-car pileup with multiple cars involved. After getting on the grass, let's have a quick look at this again, because this is a nasty crash.
He gets
does
a
he
punch
get a
from Modov?
punt?
Yes, he does, definitely. Yeah.
There it goes. Yep.
Oh dear. Now, Karl Modov's normally a super clean driver. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but oh my word. Look at the chain reaction. There's bits of Dallara carbon fiber everywhere. I mean, it is the finest Italian carbon fiber, so it's the best of gear, but it's only so strong.
Yeah, it can only take so much. But yeah,
Oof.
that was a nasty, nasty crash on the scene of the Lago. Right on board with, or let's have a look for David Mcdonald as he comes through, Luis Correa, and you can see there, just the car shoots off to the right-hand side, and oh, David nearly almost got through, but he just got collected by the other car who's flipping down the straight. Joseph Escobedo just did a slalom and got himself through there. So a nice job for him. Here we are on board with Mark Alcaraz. This is his view of proceedings. He sees the car go off the lines and spear off. Does he lift? Oh, he
Not really.
just went. No, he definitely didn't, and he was unsighted from where he was. But that's a big flip that he ended up doing. But at the end of that, it's Alcaraz with Karl Modov right behind him, and Arthur Fry is now in P3 with John Gordon leading the Pro Am class. Of course, he was the winner in Brands Hatch as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And I wonder if Karl Modov would have seen any of that in his mirror, as he maybe will watch the broadcast later and go, oh dear, start off a bit of a big one there. So Karl Modov, the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge mechanic for a team called, now no giggling at the back, Road Shagger Audi. No, I'm not kidding. That's what the team name is.
Who named that team?
I don't know. I'm sure it means something else somewhere, but to us, we know what that means. But anyway, we're riding on board with mechanic Modov here in the draft of Alcaraz. Now, I doubt that he'll have any kind of noticeable damage, Jack, but that being said, doesn't look to be reeling in Alcaraz at all.
No, Alcaraz seems to just have the legs on him in the straight. Francesco Fioroni's come into the pit lane. He's obviously got damage, and yeah, you can see it on the front wing. That's been pushed in quite significantly, so he's going to lose a ton of straight line speed. They do have a fast repair, so they can come in and repair the car instantly, but that's going to lose him lots and lots of track position. So he's going to drop down below the P12 barrier, but he's going to come out just behind this train, which is the battle for P12. And Nathan Healy is currently on the bubble in P12. There goes Fioroni, so he's going to come out just behind those guys. So he has a decent chance of still making it through. So it's probably a good chance for him as Waldemir Cardeia at home in Brazil. He goes through and gets himself, for the moment, into the feature.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, I think that accident was so big that if you could get back to the pit lane somehow, either via tow or ideally on your own power, and take that fast repair, like you say, Jack, it was such a big accident. There's so many people involved, so you actually, if you can get back on the circuit after the fast repair, there is an outside chance of still getting through to the feature.
Yeah, that's the nature of these big accidents, is that you can basically lose minimal time by repairs. But you can see now we're looking at our leader, Alex Alcaraz, just behind some lap traffic already, coming up to these guys, and he's got Modov and Fry right behind him. Arthur Fry running well in P3 there, but Alcaraz is going to have the benefit of the slipstream of the cars up in front of him. I believe that is David Mcdonald and Luis Correa, I think, up ahead of him, down at the back. So they're fighting for position as well, albeit it's not really going to make much odds, but they don't want to get in these guys' ways. You can see them battling away now.
Yep, they're getting well out of the way there. So there's good respect there. But well, one of the cars is. Now, will the 116 car McDonald there be the same? Yes. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. So.
Oh, there's a car off. That was Bartolotta. I just saw him way off in the background. He's now been in the wall again. He's had to tow back. So he started on pole, and that's gone horribly wrong for Bartolotta. He's going to have to go to the Consolation now.
There's going to be some big names in the Consolation by the looks of things. Bartolotta being one of them. Well, and look, he's throwing it in there with gusto. Oh, good, plenty track limits.
Certainly getting off track for that one, but for now Fioroni makes it now back into the feature. So he's made it into P12 after taking that fast repair. Nathan Healy is carrying damage. You can see it on the front of that car, and Brown with a big spin in front of the cars behind. They're going to just make it through. Thankfully he's not on the racing line, so they're able to get it through, but he's going to get it back going again. That's very easy to do because the grass is absolutely lethal on this game. If you get too much on the grass, you can see now this is Matt Karune getting overtaken by John Gordon. The Pro-Am guys are putting on a hell of a show. We had Victor Anderson in P5 in the previous race, and now John Gordon round the outside takes P6.
Oof, good move there from John Gordon, who's been so impressive in the AM class. Like you say, winner at Brands Hatch. But Corona is going to try and retaliate here. They go side by side down towards the Desiro del Lago, or if you like, the corner where the two Ferraris crashed into each other 2 years ago. Much to the delight of our producer, Marco Barbonera.
Yeah, he's laughing evilly in our ears.
Yeah.
Great, lovely move back from John Gordon, back up the inside, up the top of the hill. Ferradura. This is a good little scrap between these guys. This is Pro-Am versus Pro. John Gordon proving his worth there in the Fuga Sim Sport car. Karuna running well though in P7, in P6 in class, of course. But this battle is going to go right down to the flag, I think, because we're about halfway through this race. But Alcaraz is not getting away from Karl Modov at the head of the field. 0.6 of a second between them. Arthur Fry is hanging on the back of Karl Modov as well, so it's very close between all these guys. But I think Matt Karuna is going to have a run on John Gordon heading into the Senna S's. There you can see 27.9 for Karl. That's faster than Raul Hyman. Interesting stuff coming into the feature.
Yeah, and look at this run that Matt Corona has got. Is he going to have a lunge to the inside? I think he will. He's got the momentum. Gordon very, very late on the brakes there. Oh, but good move there. Nice and clean. Well set up there from Matt Corona. So this is an excellent battle between Gordon and Corona here, and that has allowed David Holland in the background to come back into the reckoning here. And this is getting spicy.
Trying to break the slipstream. I mentioned this before the start of the stream, was the slipstream is so effective. You want to break it as much as you possibly can. And this is now Fioroni on Damien McMullen. So he's making good progress as Fioroni. So he's up to P10 now in the Squadra Corsa car. And behind there is Toby Ward fighting away with Waldemir Cardea. And Cardea's got to run up towards Ferradura. He's on the inside. We saw this move just a lap ago. And he slots up the inside, but Toby Ward hangs it all the way around the outside of Ferradura. That's not easy to do, and that's very brave from Toby Ward to go all the way around the outside of Ferradura. Still has the inside line for the next corner. Cut back line maybe for Cardea if he can get the run. He's got a good exit though on the curve. But Toby Ward, he wins a reward for bravery, because that's not a corner you want to be on the outside for, is Ferradura at the top of the hill.
The exuberance of youth, Jack. That was the thing. But look at David Holland. He's going for the double bubble here. Look at this. It's Corona, Gordon in the orange car, and here comes David Holland. He's at the back there, but he's got the double slipstream effect. Oh, look at that. Corona goes right to the wall. Gordon's going to go round the outside. Holland's going to go round the outside of him. Oh my God, are they going to come out the other side? They do. So Corona loses 2 spots. John Gordon goes ahead. And David Holland in there as well. Fantastic battling.
And this is certainly not over, because now David Holland has got a run on John Gordon as they head down towards the Deceited block. You can see Carrera pulling after the inside, but they're not going to do a move just yet. He wants the run of Ferradura. He's got a little nose looking as he heads up the hill. This is fantastic, proper Formula 3 racing as they head up towards Ferradura. Now he's going to show David Holland the outside of Ferradura, so he's going to have to be brave. Going to cut back to the inside for turn 7. But he gets covered off. Smart driving from the Welshman in P6, and he has to hang behind. Cut back again for David Holland, but again John Gordon hugs the inside. He hugs the karting line, and this is perfect driving, perfect defensive display in the twisty tight sector. But I fear he's going to be completely defenseless heading into turn 1.
Well, Corona's he's just been a little bit weaker in that sector there, and that has just allowed David Holland and John Gordon that little bit of breathing space. But let's see if Corona's got close enough to try and get the draft. And here goes David Holland. We've got a great view of it. Corona doing a great job to give us a camera angle, to give us he's the director here, if you like. And he's pulled out the slipstream, interestingly. I think maybe because he feels like there's going to be a bit of an incident happen in front of him here, perhaps. On the brakes they go then into the Senna S's, and somehow John Gordon defends his line there, but here goes Holland again. He's going to get into the slipstream. Oh, how good is Interlagos, Jack Canan? This is what it is all about. There's just overtaking opportunities everywhere.
There goes Holland. Here comes Karuna looking for some space on the inside. Has to back out. Holland sticks it up to the inside of John Gordon. Now Karuna trying for a big cutback line and see if he can take the position back off John Gordon. So David Holland is finally ahead, but Karuna's got to run up to Ferradura. Switch to the inside, but gets covered up by John Gordon, who tries for a move on David Holland. This is brilliant, proper single-seater racing here in Interlagos. And these guys are this isn't even for a position in the feature. It's just to, well, it is for a position in the feature. It's just for an extra grid slot. Now a mistake from John Gordon on the brakes. He locked up the inside right, and Karuna's now got a great run heading up to this next corner. He's going to stick it up the inside. Maybe he's got a run on the inside, but John Gordon will have to run on the outside. But no, Karuna got the run on the outside lines ahead down towards Young Cow. This is where Is That Glock happened in 2008, and John Gordon still ahead, but Holland, just with them battling, he's broken away to 0.8 of a second as they head to the line. But this is proper. This is a proper display of fair racing between these guys.
Yep, David Holland's done his best Roadrunner impression. He's gone, see you later. And that has allowed him to escape in the 122 car. But we must remind our viewers, we cannot stress it enough, John Gordon is in the Pro-Am class. The other guys are in the full Pro class. So he is battling them blow for blow all the way through. And some of his defensive driving has been absolutely superb.
Yeah, he's been smart. He's been hugging the inside of those corners. There's Waldemar Cardea making it into P11. So Damien McMullen is on the cusp now. But now we go back to, again, Karuna tried it, but he couldn't quite get up alongside John Gordon that time into the seat of the Lago. So he's going to have to hang behind. There's not much time left in this race. Only about maybe 2 laps when we come across the line now. And what happened to Mark Alcaraz? Have a look here. He's up the inside of a car there. They banged wheels and round he went, and that's now probably going to be carrying damage, and definitely for sure going to be carrying damage on that car. So we had one of the Fleetguys racing cars flipping in heat race number 1, and the other one's not fared too much better, and Arthur Fry has just gone into second.
So Karl Modov has had an issue.
Oh, he's off.
Oh, in a big way.
Oh, wow.
Oh dear. So let's see, does he lose it on the exit of Junkao? Oh, he does. Oh,
he's doing a Stratos. Oh, Arthur Fry was very lucky there, wasn't he, to get through that. Now that's what would have happened to Stratos Kibakaitis if he didn't save it. But Karl Modov went straight, got on the grass and just got sucked into the barrier, broken the rear right. Arthur Fry was inches away. Great drive of Arthur Fry, great reactions. Karl Modov is now out. And here comes Karuna. These guys are still battling as they head down towards the seat of the Lago. Karuna's got the outside line and a great run on the outside. John Gordon has the inside, but you can see Karuna trying to go around the outside. Hasn't quite got the run, but this is still a scrap that's going to go right down to the final lap. And I think this might be the final lap, depending if they get to the line. But Karuna's got the outside for Ferradura. But they're still scrapping, and they've been scrapping the whole race long. For disputing P6. David Holland is now 3 seconds in front of them as a result of that.
Yep, yeah, David Holland, as soon as he managed to get the break, he was gone. But what a drive from this man, Aleix Alcaraz, winner at Brands Hatch. And we're going to get one more lap, it would appear, as Aleix comes along to take the white flag. And it will be one more circulation, 90 seconds or so, of this beautiful Brazilian circuit. And that's now that I think that is that Karl Modov, yes, taking his fast repair, got back out onto the circuit again. Now he won't make it through to the feature, but any positions gained are worth it for grid position in the consolation race. Now here we are looking back from John Gordon to Matt Corona in the 126 car. He's going to have a look up the inside. John Gordon very good in the brakes as the Welsh Wizard. And Corona just slipped through. Now can John Gordon get the exit to get back in the draft and make a move down into the Ciudad del Lago?
Well, John, he opened the steering there to kind of let him through because he wants the slipstream, but here comes John Gordon again now towards the Ciudad del Lago, switches back to the inside, late on the brakes up against, like throws one the inside. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Brilliant. And braking maneuver from the Welshman, but now Karuna's got to run on the outside. He has to back off those. They head towards Ferrier, but he's got the outside. He's going to throw one around the outside as he switch back to the inside. But John, once again, brilliant defensive display. Through turn 7 they come now. But this has been a great scrap. And this is going to go where these guys are going to be in the feature on the same row of the grid. And that's going to be spicy to watch. But it's going to be a run for the line between these two. Francesco Fioroni's on the inside there, but you can see now Karuna throws up the inside. John Gordon leaves him space. He has to open the steering again. Alish Alcaraz is going to win this by nearly 6 seconds. He's had a very, very quiet race out front, but he's going to be starting on the front row of the grid. That's what he wants. But here we go between these two. It's going to be an is that Glock moment heading to the line between these two. John Gordon in front, but Karuna's got a fantastic exit coming down to the line. It's going to be just like Road America, like we saw 2 weeks ago. Now John Gordon's got to defend with every ounce of his might here. Karuna's got the run on the outside line as they come to the line. It's going to be inches between them as they come to the line. John Gordon is just going to hold on across the line. Brilliant fight between those two. Props to all of them for putting on that display. And you can see Toby Ward is going to be the last man to progress into the feature in P12. What a race between those two, but crucially Alcaraz and Ral Hyman on the front row of the grid once again, just like in Brands Hatch.
Wow, what a finish. And the racecraft from John Gordon, absolutely superb. Got to be driver of the heat for me there. Really good defensive driving. Brilliant stuff. And so fair. Lots of great respect from the drivers too, which is always good to see. Unfortunately, Brett Pancari in that wonderful Jordan livery, he's unfortunately the last man. Well, he's the first man without a seat to sit in, so he'll have to go through the consolation race. But will have a good grid position for that particular race. What a dramatic... God, I almost forgot about the big accident at the start, Jack. There was so much going on there.
Yeah, exactly. So the other Alcaraz has been through the wars in that one. Max Bartolotta starting from pole position, ended up not finishing. He's going to have to go to the consolation. But Karl Modov, after that mistake, we've seen 2 drivers do that today. Stratos just about avoided it. But Karl Modov, unfortunately, got the short end of the stick. Now, consolation race coming up now. In just a few moments' time, 6 go through. This is going to be very, very spicy.
Indeed, yeah. Those numbers do not match. But let's quickly run through the results from heat number 2. Alish Alcaraz taking the win from Arthur Fry with Stephen Verratti 3rd. Daniel Krainfus was 4th with David Hall in 5th, breaking away from fantastic drive from John Gordon with Matt Corona chasing him all the way to the line. Francesco Fioroni was 8th with Waldemar Cardea in 9th and Case Stroh 10th. Damien McMillan was 11th with Toby Ward 12th. Unfortunately, Brett Pancari, the first man not to get a spot, but he starts on the front row of the grid alongside Richard Holding for this consolation race. 6 go through, 20 drivers. I don't like those odds, Jack.
No, it's always a bit of a 1B. You've got Karl Modov starting at the back of the field, well, in the middle of the field, and Bartolotta at the very back of the field. This is going to be interesting.
There is indeed. The lights are up and they go out, and we are go here in the 10-minute consolation sprint race. It's a good start there from Holding. Can he hold off Pancari on the inside in the Jordan Peugeot machine? Round they go through the Senna S's, and it's go! Pancari puts a wheel on the grass, just hangs onto it, but the front guys just about get through cleanly.
Yeah, good start from Karl Modov. He needed to make a good start, and unfortunately Max Bartolotta has not made the start, but now you can see Nguyen going for the inside line and going for the lead, and he takes the lead now. Vietnamese driver takes the lead in this one. Dave Mcdonald sliding up ahead of John Vogel into P9, but Karl Modov, what a start. He's into the feature already.
Yeah, we know that Karl Modov has got some mega pace. He was, like you said, oh no! Oh, that Ian Gar has gone off. Oh, now, I did hear a little bit of a clang. I hope he wasn't given a help. He might well have done, though. So, this is what always happens in the consolation race. There's that air of there's that air of desperation, isn't there, Jack? That you've, oh my goodness me, you've got, oh, who's that in the wall? Oh, no.
Oh, we've had another big one. Not quite the same kind of high speed one, but Mark Alcaraz involved again in that one after just caused by a spinner. Look at this big cluster going on here. This is for the transfer spot right now. As you can see, John Fogel is in P6. He's got Assuring, Jones, Tony Seppola, Nathan Healy, and Brown are all trying to fight for position here. But John Fogel has made it through unscathed. There's a couple of drivers with front wing damage. There's one missing a front wing, actually. I think Nathan is missing a front wing here. But now here comes Daniel Schuring to try and take the P6 away in his first race. He's trying to make the feature for the first time as well. He goes around the outside of John Fogel, and he's going to lose it on the brakes. He loses it on the turn-in, and he's off the road. You can see Nathan is circulating without a front wing. But unfortunate for Daniel Schuring, just outbraked himself into turn number 1 and has to get going again. But Brett Punkari leads Nagui in second. How about Karl Mordov, P3?
Oh, he's on the charge, isn't he? And I think Vogel's rear wing is actually dangling on a thread. Now, it might have righted itself. Possibly that can sometimes happen. No, it wasn't Vogel. Must have been Jones. It was in one of the Fuga cars. Must have been Jones, yes.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, look at that. Oh, my God. There you go. Well, there's the effect. That's the effect it'll have. When if that rear wing isn't working correctly, well, it becomes a Formula Ford, and we know that they are pretty slippery customers.
Very slippery customers. There you can see a battle here. This is Mitch Green and Tony Seppala. Shiny car goes around the outside, and he's going to outbrake himself, though, go off the road a little bit, and now going to rejoin and take out Tony Seppala. That was a poor rejoin, very poor rejoin, and Tony Seppala was the innocent victim in that one. And back to the front, a look at Karl Mordov and Dave Mcdonald are really fighting for position here. He goes now to the outside line. These are Pro-Am guys. We don't expect them to be on the same pace, though. So Mordov and Dave McDonald should be the faster ones, and they certainly are. Dave McDonald trying to go with Karl Mordov to Mordov to P2, Nguyen back to P3. Brett Punkari is still your leader. This is only 10 minutes, though, so they've got to do it quickly. Nathan Healy in to get a new front wing attached to that car.
Yeah, for Karl Mordov, this is kind of candy from a baby stuff, isn't it? But even if Karl Mordov wins this race, he's still got to start the feature in 25th spot, Jack, and that is, it just shows you such a tiny mistake has cost him so dearly.
And there he goes through to the lead. Punkari makes it very easy for him. Just open the door. But yeah, he's going to have to start right down at the middle of the pack, basically 25th place, which is not a spot you want to be in. There is John Fogel, who's managed to survive the attacks, and he's in P6, which is the last feature race spot, automatic progression. The rest will be saying goodbye to. And he's got nearly 7 seconds clear to Brown. And this is what happened, I think, big shunt we saw earlier. And Mark Alcaraz has had a terrible day at the office. He was involved in that high-speed one in the previous race, and again he was involved in that rather slow speed shunt. I think it was all caused by one driver spinning in front of the field and nobody could avoid because they were already coming to the turn in. Oh my word. Yikes, that was a nasty accident for Hans for High. Just caught the end of that one. Let's have a look.
So let's see what happens to Hans for High then, because he went into the wall hard. Oh, and he slammed into the side of Mitch Green in the shiny car, and well, that's what you get for that, Hans. If you damage the beloved shiny car.
We found
that just occurred to me. We've got a new contender. I've got a new contender for livery of the season now.
So shiny car. We obviously don't have a name for the livery. It's just going to be called shiny car. Is going to be the nomination. See now, Derek Holland moving into P4 ahead of Tom Nguyen. Into P4 he goes. Then Karl Mordov and David Dunn, the two pro drivers, are in P1 and 2, which is exactly where we expect them to be. But Nguyen now just trying to hang on to a feature race spot. Hans Verheij is still on the track. I'm assuming he's just left his sim rig and has probably just gone to punch something, but he's come back to the pit lane now, so he's back going. And there is David McDonald in shiny car.
No, Mitch Green is in shiny car.
Mitch Green is in shiny car. Yeah, there is Mitch Green, shiny car. I believe they're teammates actually, Mitch Green and David McDonald. So they're running pretty similar cars.
That's what threw me off, because I'm pretty sure David McDonald has a similar paint scheme on his Dallara LMP2 that he races, and it looks absolutely fantastic. But for rushed racing, so 27 degrees centigrade of track temperature, so not too bad. That's pretty steady conditions. Nothing too much to worry about, especially with a 10-minute race, Jack. Tyre management isn't something you really need to really bother yourself with, so you can just go absolutely maximum attack.
Yeah, in comes Mitch Green. Oh, he's hit the wall. He's hit the wall there. Scraped it a little bit. Hope he hasn't. Oh, he's broken the suspension. He's broken the suspension. I'm a little bit confused with that one. I think he just misjudged the apex a bit, but he's broken the suspension on the left front. And he's now crabbing, which is not exactly ideal. Just a misjudgment there as he came through the last corner. You can see that's pulling to the left by itself, and you don't want to be at a 10-degree angle on the steering heading in a straight line.
No, that's not. That's far from ideal. I think maybe the sun caught his eyes again and glinted off the shiny car, possibly. But so the moment John Vogel is the man with the last ticket, the very last ticket to the ball, and has a 10-second advantage. So just got to try and just keep it steady, and we'll get a promotion through to the feature. Nice looking car, this one as well. I like that kind of black bomber look. It's very cool.
That's John Vogel's car, and that's circulating in P6 right now. Mitch Green is into the pit lane, and oh dear, that engine is blown on Mitch Green's car. Now, has he been in the wall again? Let's see.
Oh, he's on the grass. Loses it. Oh, just takes a toe back to... He'd had enough.
Yeah, he'd given up. So, unfortunate for him. There is Daniel Schuring, who is in P7, but he's 10 seconds away from progressing into the feature. So he's just going to miss out. It's his first race today, so don't expect him to make the feature straight away, but he'll be wanting to do that. There is P6 man John Vogel, who's been, actually, you can see Schuring is quicker than him by about 8 cents per second on the previous lap, but that's not going to be enough because there's only going to be about 2 laps to go when we cross the line. Maybe even we might even get the white flag next time across the line. Yeah, it's going to be white flag across the line next time. So Karl Modoff from the middle, he started P12 on the grid and has progressed all the way up to the lead, but he's going to be fuming because he has the pace of Hyman, he has the pace of Alcaraz to keep with the top guys, but that small error, which is he's not the first person to have done it, but he just was unable to keep it out of that wall.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the smallest of errors as well. I mean, it was just so unlucky, really. Just one little bit of the tyre onto the grass, and he just went straight forward into the wall. And there are other places on this Interlagos circuit where you can have a massive spin and get away with it, but it just wasn't to be for Karl Modoff. However, it'd be great to watch him just to see how far through the field he can get from 25th on the grid in the feature race, and that will be a lot of fun to watch. As Daniel Schuring, even though I love that spirit, a 129.4, his best lap of the race so far, even though he's not gonna get through to the feature, he's popped in his personal best just at the last moment. So he hasn't stopped pushing. I love that.
No, that's what's the attitude you want to see, because anything can happen in the last few moments. We've seen drivers make small errors, so anything can still happen, but Karl Modoff has kept it clean thus far, and he's going to be, I'm sure he's afraid of that last corner now. Young car right here is where he made the error. Going to be very conservative through here, not going to use too much of the curb, keep well off the curb actually this time. But he is going to progress through and win the consolation race, but he'll start at 25th on the grid in the feature.
He will. So here he comes in, Karl Mechanic Modoff wins the consolation race here at Interlagos. And almost a tale of what could have been. So much pace under that car. David Mcdonald finishes second. Brett Pancari will get a spot in the feature. He finishes third in the Jordan Peugeot. Lovely looking car that. As we see McGoyan come over the line in 5th. David Holland 4th. Derek Holland 4th. Sorry, my apologies. I know I've done that before. John Vogel finishes in 6th. And that is what all told for those guys. They go through to the feature. The rest have to go home, unfortunately. Midnight train home to Georgia for them. So we are going to go for a very short warm-up for the drivers, and meanwhile, while we do that, we're going to have a very short cool down after all that action. We're just going to take a very brief break to have a little short message from our sponsors, the Virtual Racing School. Check it out.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to Interlagos, where we are preparing for the main event, the feature race here in the 3rd round of the Apex Racing Academy F3 VRS Super Series. My name is Peter Mackay, and joining me for this race is Jack Canan. Jack, it's been a great race, a great evening so far. Do you think anyone can catch Raul Hyman?
Oh, it's going to be a tough ask. We'll wait and see, because Alcaraz is looking pretty pacey as well. But here's your consolation results. Top 6 go through. Modolf, Mcdonald, Punkari, Derek Collins, Khan Nguyen, and John Fogel are the men progressing through into the last positions on the grid. They're just in a quick warm-up right now, and of course it is late evening in Brazil, which means it's going to have lower track temperatures, which means less grip, much less grip on cold tyres, so it's essential that you get the start. And last time in the feature, Raul Hyman had an absolute disastrous start, and this man came through to take the win in Brands Hatch, and he needs to take another one because Raul Hyman is he's got a pretty decent advantage in the championship. He needs every bit he can get.
Indeed, and the interesting thing with Raul Hyman is that we haven't actually seen him really go absolutely wheel to wheel yet, because, well, every race he's won out the front. So this might be the point where we see the battle head-to-head between Aleix Alcaraz and Raul Hyman. But Jordan Kelly could be in there as well. Stratos Kirlukitsas, what can he do? Christophe Herbigno? I mean, it's too close to call, but I think you're right. I think Alcaraz is going to be the man. And of course, the championship so far has been very much a duel between Alcaraz and Hyman at this stage.
Yeah, it's Hyman at the top at the moment. Alcaraz P2 in the championship, of course. We'll see how Victor Anderson gets on as well at the head of the Pro-Am Pro-Am fight. There's a good scrap going to be, I think, between himself and John Gordon today. Wait and see. Sammy Venables looking pretty quick as well. So we've got a decent race on our hands in both classes. And we have 20 minutes to sort it out as well. 20-minute features is double the length of the Consolation. And it is going to be very, very interesting to see if Hyman can nail his starts this time, because it's a tricky start because it's uphill. The grid is actually on a slant uphill, which makes it even harder to not wheel spin.
Yeah, it's very, very tricky, actually, isn't it? It's and of course, you've got the kind of snaking Senna S to go through at the beginning, and there's so many different lines, and you require a little bit of respect both ways from the drivers. And if it can bottleneck into the same position, of course, we saw that with Max Verstappen and now was it Esteban Ocon? I think it maybe was.
It was.
Yes, push shove gate, should we call it? It was a bit handbags at dawn, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, let's see how they line up then for this feature race. Raul Hyman and Aleix Alcaraz start on the first row of the grid, with Jordan Kelly and Arthur Fry on row 2. Vitolo Garcia and Stephen Ferrari make up the third row, with Christophe Herbignot and Daniel Cranefuss 7th and 8th. Row 5 sees Victor Anderson and David Holland, with Stratos Keirlakitsis and John Gordon on row 6. Row 7 sees Vincenzo Carcetti and Matt Corona. Row 8, Chuck Mauro and Francesco Fioroni. Row 9, Sammy Venables and Waldemar Cardea. Kevin Shine, Case Drost, Harry Bowen, Damien McMillan, Marcel Tumbas and Toby Ward round out the first 12 rows, with Karl Modov, watch for him, David McDonald, Brett Pancari, Derek Holland, Can Nguyen and John Vogel rounding out our 30-strong grid. We will be just about ready to go. We wait for the lights to go up. Here they come then. We wait for them to illuminate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out they go. Green, green, green for the feature here at Interlagos. Now, can Raul Hyman defend into turn 1? He's got a good start, and Alcaraz has to go in behind him. So it's as they were into turn 1 through the Senna S's, and the leaders more or less getting through clean.
Yeah, Hyman absolutely nailed the start that time. So that's exactly what he needs to do now. Alcaraz is trying to break the slipstream already. Look at him weaving, trying to warm the tyres up as they come down to the braking zone. You can see Christophe Herbignot trying with Jordan Kelly, who was inside of Herbignot around the outside. Jordan's not had a good first lap, and multiple cars running off the road there. Herbignot is now going to be side by side with Jordan up the hill, but Alcaraz now already putting pressure on our leader, and Arthur Fry looking very, very good, sitting in there in P3. But we've got a great scrap in store in this one.
We really do. Yep, I do not think that Alcaraz is... Oh, we're going to make a big one. Oh, 192, that is Herbignot's off. Oh, the Belgian bullets hit problems. Now, did he fall or was he pushed?
Oh, I think Raul Hyman's had a problem. Raul Hyman's off the road as well.
Oh.
He went off I think he went off by himself. I think there's no damage on the car. He just locked up and went onto the grass. Same issue with Christophe Herbignot, who spun by himself with Raul Hyman, and Jordan Kelly is off the road now as well. It's been a disaster for the front, and Hyman's off for a second time.
Deja vu. Oh my goodness, nearly gets collected by one of the Delta Sport cars. I don't believe what I'm seeing, Jack. That's 2 weeks in a row. Raul Hyman has, I'm sorry for the word, choked at the beginning of the feature race.
Arthur Fry takes the lead of the feature race.
Now there's the man's name that we have not mentioned at all, but Arthur Fry quietly coming up there, and Alcaraz is going, hold on a minute here, this wasn't in the script, but the script is well and truly in the bin.
Absolutely. Now back up the inside. Fry tries to stick it up the inside of Alcaraz. Good scrap for the lead here. He has to run off the road. And now Vitolo Garcia wants a bit of the action here as well. Side by side up the hill up towards Ferradura. Alcaraz has the inside line. He'll shut the door on Arthur Fry. But it's now a 3-car scrap, and not too far off the back of them is a certain Victor Anderson, who might be in with a shot of taking a feature race win outright. There he is, just in the background of shot.
Wow, what a performance this has been today from Victor Anderson, holding forth with some serious names behind him, but Arthur Fry all over the back of Aleix Alcaraz. Now we're Raul Hyman in 15th place. Now that is just extraordinary how that has planned out.
Arthur Fry nearly just did the same thing that Karl Modov and Keirlakitsis did. He had to correct the car, and he's under pressure now from Vitolo Garcia. Matt Corona, I think, has probably just done it as well. He's in a terrible run out of the last corner, loses a spot. But here comes Vitolo Garcia. He's going to have a run on him up the inside. He takes P2. And Victor Anderson fighting with David Holland in the background as well. Holland tried the move but couldn't quite do it. And now Arthur Fry has lost the place to Vitolo Garcia. But now this is allowing Alcaraz to get a run and try to break away. Almost trying to bang wheels here as Garcia tries to hang on in front of Arthur Fry into the seat of the Lago. But it's a Spanish 1-2 now, as here we are with just a couple of drivers there. This is now what happened to Hyman.
Oh, I've just lost my feed, unfortunately.
I have also just lost, but I think, there we go. I think he locked up by himself. Here we go again. So he locked up by himself. He's heading down towards Young Cow now. And as he comes in, Jordan Kelly spun by himself in the background as well. And I think Hyman just lost it. He just outbraked himself again and went off by himself. So but unlike Brands Hatch, he's not damaged and he's still circulating in P14. But Alcaraz, after the battling between Garcia and Fry, he's broken away to 1.2 seconds.
Absolutely, and look who's in 9th place. Karl Modov from 25th on the grid is in 9th place, 8 seconds off the leader, still well in the battle. And what can Raul Hyman do? We know that he's got enormous pace. He's just got to try and eliminate the mistakes, really, because he is the fastest man over 1 lap. But look at that time from Aleix Alcaraz, and once again, he's making he's taking full advantage of the opportunity that's been given to him. As we got a car off there, it's going to come back on T-Bone State. No, thank God. Oh, that was close. But John Gordon here in 9th, right on the back of Modov, and talk about a drafting partner. He's going to hook in on the back of Modov there and try and get dragged up towards the real high-scoring positions and up to his AM-class rival, Victor Anderson.
Yeah, they need to climb 3 seconds, need to work together pretty quickly. Francesco Fioroni is making a pass. There's Derek Holland, Toby Ward fighting it out. Marcel Tumbas and Brett Punkari are in a train right there. These were the guys who started further down the field. But yeah, Karl Modov has an epic start. Marcel Tumbas now up the inside of Toby Ward into the Ferradura. And Toby Ward, once again, he's done that twice today around the outside of the Ferradura. And it does take bravery to commit to the outside line. But Marcel was quite fair, gets it a little bit wrong. And Punkari should be able to slot in front after that slight error. Tumbas will have the inside for the next corner though, and you got to watch out for John Fogel as well, who's right in there too. He's going to try and capitalise, but one mistake and it's 2 positions nearly gone for Marcel Tumbas. It happened very, very quickly. But back to the front, and Alex Alcaraz just hanging on right now, but you can see Arthur Fry, I think actually the P5 man, which I believe is David Holland, is the fastest man on the circuit right now.
A lot of fast laps getting put in there. 3 purple laps going in to the last lap. Whoa, now tell you what, Raul Hyman, he is getting a rude awakening to the mid-pack here, isn't he? Wow. Really having to get his elbows out now. You've got Sammy Venables just up ahead. David McDonald, right behind. As they go down towards to see the Delago, he sells the dummy. Venables goes to the inside and Hyman goes right around the outside. Can he get it sealed up in time? Yes, he can. Good move. So Hyman up to 11th. So we're going to see how far Raul Hyman can go. And look at David McDonald. Sends it up the inside. Goes for the block and gets it. Wow. Brilliant stuff. Oh, this is why we love Interlagos. This circuit, built in 1940, changed as little as possible. And, well, who needs tilted-drones?
Exactly. This is perfect for single-seater racing. It's got plenty of open space, lots of place to slipstream. Raul Hyman, if he can recover, he could even recover inside the top 10, it would still be a good result. The fact that he actually managed to keep it out of the wall is what saved him today, because there's quite a large amount of runoff in the middle sector, which saved him quite significantly compared to Brands Hatch, which has very little compared to it. The front battle's stagnating a little bit now. They're all on very similar pace as they head across the line. There is Karl Modov in P8. And he's catching about 0.4 of a second to Stephen Varady in P7. Here's your Pro-Am battle. There's Victor Anderson in the lead by 6.6 seconds over John Gordon. And Victor Anderson on a dominant display today. There he is. We're looking at him right now. He's right in the middle of the Pro battle, which is really impressive. He's slotted in between Stratos Kitsis and David Holland. So he's P5. He's top 5 overall for a Pro-Am driver. It's quite something.
It is, and of course he'll score big. All the points are handed out equally, so no matter if you're a pro or an AM, they are handed out the same. So if you get a really high position as an AM, you get a huge haul of points. So for Victor Anderson, he's in a great spot right now to take control of the AM Class Championship. And what a start to this season this has been, Jack. We went to Road America, been to Brands Hatch, and the standard of driving across the field and the respect between the drivers has been absolutely superb.
Yeah, they've really been very well behaved, but have to pay an entry fee to enter into this. So they really want to put on a good show. Here comes Arthur Fry on Vitolo Garcia for P2. Is there going to be any defense put up by Vitolo? He's going to go late on the brakes around the outside of the Senna S's. It's nearly better to be on the outside line because then you can hang the inside for the second part. And Vitolo hangs on, but now Arthur Fry with the run down the Descida del Lago should get a nice run and may be able to slot in front of the Spaniard right now. Getting the slipstream towards it. Is he going to be able to pull alongside? He's not quite close enough. But even that small battle has cost him 0.4 of a second as there now. Stratos trying to make his way past Victor Anderson.
Well, he's going to have to work hard to get past the AM Class leader, and here he goes then. He's going to go for the Toby Ward line. Oh, as we cut back towards Vitolo Garcia and Arthur Fry battling over second place right now. What a drive this has been from Arthur Fry in the number 6 car. Been relatively quiet this evening, but my goodness me, he's doing the job when it matters. In the feature, that's when the big points are handed out.
So he goes to the inside. Does he throw it up the inside? Actually, which is a big gap to try and bring down, especially with the pace of our leader. So it's going to be a bit of a tough ask to do that. This is Christoph Herbinot. Chasing after Karl Modolf. Raul Hyman is only 2 seconds behind him. There he is in the background of shots. But actually, they're on pretty similar pace, so it might be a little bit hard for Hyman to make up any more positions.
Yeah, and of course, Herbinot, he's kind of playing a bit of a rear gunner right now to Karl Modolf. But look at that time from Raul Hyman. He is really starting to get in his groove now. 128.0, 0.3 of a second quicker than Herbinot. As look at this, side by side, Victor Anderson on the inside in the 220, Stratos Kirlikitsis on the outside, Varadi's there in the popcorn position watching this all unfold, and Stratos is going to try and hang it right around the outside. Victor Anderson spots him, and here comes Varadi. Watch out for him. Now, who is going to come off best here? This is getting very, very spicy indeed. Down they go, and oh, Stratos thought about having a look there into the right-hander. Oh, and it's just a slight miss of the gear there from Varadi, but they're now close enough where they're all going to get the draft effect, apart from Victor Anderson, of course, because he's at the front.
Yeah, but that's has just allowed Karl Modolf to just drag himself within about a second and a half of these guys. So it's looking good for Karl to even progress up to possibly a top 5 finish after starting in 25th on the grid. So we'll see what he's able to do. And he's not far off the back of them. He's a second off the back of Stephen Varady at this moment. But Victor Anderson, he's hanging on for dear life, and Stratos has got a run on him now as they head towards turn 1. Stratos to the outside line of turn number 1. It's better to be on the outside, and I think is Victor going to back off on the brakes. Stratos hangs it around the outside. Victor somehow still keeps it there on the outside and the inside for the next part of the corner. Stephen Varady going to go for the double here. He gets past Stratos, going to get the slipstream then up to the back of Victor Anderson. Can he make a double overtake here as they head down towards the Descida del Lago? He backs off, and Stratos nearly goes into the back of him and takes back the position.
Wowee. Oh, what brilliant motor racing. Fantastic stuff from all three, and Victor Anderson defending beautifully, and Varady, opportunist Varady there, brilliant stuff. And just as you spotted, Jack, that has allowed Karl Modolf to now get in on the action here, and Karl's probably thinking, 25th on the grid up to 8th, I'll have a bit of this.
Yeah, could be able to make it 20 positions gained if he keeps this up. Here we're back with this is so Sammy Venables and John Gordon battling away here. Now you can see John Gordon going around, trying to go around the outside. But this is a familiar pairing, isn't it? John Gordon versus Matt Corona. Remember how hard they fought in their heat race, and now you can see you have another member, Sammy Venables, just P2 in the Pro-Am title. He's trying to fend off John Gordon and Matt Corona. which is not going to be an easy task. But we always like to see now. Oh, he's gone to the back of him, into the June car. He's forced him wide. And now that's going to be damage, big damage, unfortunately for Sammy Venables. But Matt Karuna is going to have a massive run on John now as they head towards turn 1. But Sammy Venables, unfortunately, has now dropped behind, and Matt Karuna now going to have... we are aware he has no rear wing. He's going to notice that as he tries to take the corner here. Is he going to be able to take it? It's now become a Formula Ford, really.
Yeah, Formula 4. He's in low drag specification now. It's Le Mans spec now. Or it looks more like an Indy car now, actually. Oh dear. Well, that's that's the first kind of misdemeanor we've seen from John Gordon after all that battling.
Oh, Arthur Fry!
Oh my word, that's a big one.
Arthur Fry, what happened? As he comes up here, does he lose it by himself, or is there a touch from Vitolo? Oh, it's a touch of wheels, and Arthur Fry off in a big way in Ferradura, and he was, what a shame for him. He was having such a fantastic race, and it ended with just the slightest of taps. But David Holland now with a chance at second place, now closing up the back of Vitolo Garcia at a rate of knots here, and maybe handed P2. Alex Alcaraz has been handed a 4-second lead as a result of that, and what a shame for Arthur Fry. Got the tap and broke the rear suspension. He could do absolutely nothing about it. He was a passenger from then on.
That's such a pity. It was sort of made a little bit of an error, which I don't think Vitolo Garcia was expecting, and just went for it, and just a tiny bit of contact, and that's all it needs in these cars. They are so fragile. But look at Karl Modov, who's got by Stratos Kirlikitsis, and now Herbigno is holding back Stratos Kirlikitsis, and actually Stratos is broken. He's kind of got dispatched from the pack with Verratti, Anderson and Modov. So like you said, Modov could get up to 4th here. This is just the most amazing drive, but yeah, he's got to, if he wants it, he's going to have to get past the super Swede Victor Anderson, who for me got to be driver of the day. Oh my word. Oh, big send there from Karl Modov.
Big send from Modov, but he gets it done. And look who's on the back of the train now. A certain Raul Hyman's joined the fun in P9. So he's there on the back of Stratos now. That shows the pace of the front runner, who was started on pole, has had an absolute disaster. With Modov now, he's on the back of Anderson. He's clearly got a lot of pace. And this is the other battle we're seeing as well. David Holland versus Vitolo Garcia for P2 in this race. So plenty of battles up and down the fields. We have 4 minutes left on the clock. And here comes the 122 of David Holland trying to take P2 away from our man Vitolo Garcia. Here he comes, but he's not going to do it just yet. He's not going to try anything untoward. Now, there goes Raul Hyman, and here comes Modov with a send on Anderson, but he can't quite get it stopped into turn 1. But Hyman, he did manage to get in front of Stratos, so he's now into P8. Potential top 5 on the cards for Raul Hyman.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Karl Modov's drive, it reminds me very much of Jenson Button's drive here in 2009 when he won the championship, where he had a poor qualifying, started back down the grid as Anderson goes wide, and here goes Modov. And what I mean by that is he's got such confidence to make the moves, does Modov, and he goes up to 4th place now. Who knows, could even be a podium. There's a big gap, but you never know what could happen ahead. And Karl Modov from 25th on the grid is up to 4th, and there goes his teammate Christoph Herbigno up the inside of Verratti. Hyman there in the background as well. Wow, this is just non-stop, and we've still got another 2.5 minutes to go.
This is proper single-seater racing. Back up the inside goes Herbigno, but Verratti has the inside line for the next corner, so he'll have to hang back and wait. But this is going to be a slipstream fest down towards turn 1. Hyman being patient. He knows he's faster than these guys. But here we go for P2. David Holland with Garcia. He's much closer than he was on the previous lap. Heading towards turn 1. Garcia's going to hug the inside line. Is Holland going to try and fake it? He's going to go to the outside though and try to outbrake him. But Garcia very late on the brakes. Very nice driving from the Spaniard. Back to these guys though. Herbigno is looking on Verratti. He's going to send one. But up the inside of turn 1 and gets all this contact, and round he goes. He gets a touch from Varady, and round they both go off the road, but he manages to keep it in a straight line. Has he got damage? Is it too much damage? Varady has definitely got damage, and unfortunately he's dropped down the field now. But Hyman back into P6, and he's now chasing after Victor Anderson, but such a shame, just the slightest of touches.
Yeah, and it was a pretty big lunge there from Christoph Herbigno. It looked like he would have just about got it pulled down, but running in a little bit deep, a little bit wider than he thought. And Varady, just one of those racing incidents. It does kind of bottleneck at that corner. We see a lot of incidents there, so just bad luck all round. But a little bit of a what should we say, occupational hazard of racing here at Interlagos, but fantastic stuff. And what a battle this is. Garcia making that Dallara too wide. It's just amazing defense here. But look at Holland. He goes for the wider entry to get on the gas that little bit earlier. Now, can he make the draft? Can he make this move stick? It's going to be 2 to go when they come over the stripe.
Yeah, let's see. As he comes towards the line, it's going to be white flag, actually. White flag lap this time by. So you can see now, it's a crucial move now for David Holland. He's got to do it now. And he's going to go for the move on the outside. But again, Garcia makes that Dallara F3 so wide and pushes him out to the outside. But Holland is going to have a run down to the seat of Dallara for the final time today. It's a crucial move for the experienced man in P3. But now he's got a hard one to pass. And Matola Garcia down towards the seat of Dallara. He's going to have to throw one up the inside. He has to go to the outside as Garcia hangs it up the inside. Back with the cutback now from Holland. He's got a run on the inside line, and he's up the inside, headed towards the Ferradura for the final time. He's on the outside line for turn 6 into turn 7. He's going to have to be brave here if he wants this position. He's sending it around the outside line. David Holland, if he can make this stick, that's a spectacular move. But no, Vitola Garcia hangs it there. But David Holland is still up the inside, slides it through. And this is spectacular between these two. It's going to be a run for the line. They're still neck and neck through the last sector. Alex Alcaraz is going to take this win by nearly 5 seconds, but they're still battling. It's going to be a run for the line between Garcia and Holland in this spectacular finale of this wonderful day of racing. In towards Young Cow, he's going to throw one up the inside. Garcia is going to have the run though. Will he have the run towards the line? He's got a great exit out of Young Cow. Alex Alcaraz, 2 wins in a row. He closes the gap to Hyman in the championship. Brilliant job from the Spaniard. He wins in Interlagos, but it's the battle for P2 we want to see. It's side by side. Garcia's got the run, and he should be able to just take P2 by the smallest of margins across the line. What a fight between these two. And look at this, Modov trying to hang off against, that's Anderson stuck behind. That was neck and neck across the line between Anderson and Kyriakidis. What a race today in the ARAF3 VRS Super Series. That was spectacular.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, really, really good. But I'll tell you what, Vitola Garcia to defend from David Holland there, and David Holland going for the big send.
Oh, huge.
Enormous. Oh my Gideon. Oh, wow. Oh, dear. That was Jordan Kelly who was involved in the middle of that. Oh my
Daniel.
word. Cranefish. God, you need a crane to pick him out the grandstand. My goodness me. Oh,
We need to see that again. Daniel Cranefoot is absolutely flipping wildly down the straight. There was a touch from the back, which then sent him into the air, and he's not even going to make it across the line. I don't even think he made it across the finish line, and he can't move because he's only got one wheel left on his wagon.
Yeah, so this is running on now, Daniel Cranefish. Now, what happened? I don't know.
It's hard.
Tough one, yeah. Oh my god, I feel dizzy. Now that reminds me when I crashed my motorbike at Knockhill a few years ago. Feels like you're in a washing machine. Oh dear. Yeah, that's unfortunate there, but wow, you shouldn't let it take away from what was a fantastic finish to that motor race. Top quality stuff there, Jack, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of Formula 3 racing. That's spectacular between those guys. But Alex Alcaraz, he did the job out front, 6 seconds clear. Let's have a look at this incident again. Now, Daniel tries to go to the inside. I think the Squadra Corsa car cut across the nose of Jordan, which then sent him into Daniel. And Daniel, oh my word, that's a nasty accident. He hits the pit wall, which then sends him into a pirouette, ends up inches from the line. Jordan Kelly did manage to crawl that car across the line with just a couple of wheels left on the car, but just unfortunate. I think there was just a little touch from the Squadra Corse car, which then sent him into a pirouette, but it was like very, very, very marginal. But wow, what a race!
Yeah, and it's almost getting dark here now at Interlagos. So confirming the result then, Aleix Alcaraz takes his second win of the season, 2 in a row now after Brands Hatch last week, with his teammate Vitolo Garcia in second. David Holland just missing out on second position, but finished third. And Karl Modov, what can you say about that man? Starting from 25th on the grid, had to come through the consolation race, and he finished in fourth. Fantastic. Raul Hyman, well, a case of what might have been for the pole sitter. He was so quick in his heat, but unfortunately a couple of mistakes pushed him back. But fifth place, definitely some good damage limitation there. And Victor Anderson, wow, in winning the AM class convincingly and matching the pro guys blow for blow. Stratos Kyriakidis in 7th, Francesco Fioroni was 8th, Christophe Herbignon was 9th, with David Mcdonald in 10th. John Gordon finished 11th, second in the AM class, with Stephen Verratti 12th, Matt Corona 13th, Kays Dross 14th, Kevin Shine 15th, followed by Sammy Venables, Chuck Mauro, John Vogel in 18th, and in 19th position was Mark.
Marco's falling asleep.
Jordan Kelly managed to limp it over in 19th. Marcel Tumbet was 20th. Waldemar Cardea 21st. And finally Damon McMillan, Toby Ward, Can Nagoyan, Derek Holland, Vincenzo Carcetti, Arthur Fry, Daniel Cranefus, and finally Brett Pancari and Harry Bowen. Well, what a day. So that is, what a day, Jack. That was really special indeed. That is all that we have time for tonight on Apex Racing TV. We sincerely hope you enjoyed that amazing night's racing here at Interlagos. We'll see you next time, next week, 8 o'clock GMT on Apex Racing TV. Look forward to speaking to you then, and thanks for watching.